Remember our last CD, Smile All the Way Through Iowa? We're going to take our last reports, a walk through history, and put those onto a CD-ROM. Okay, so we have a lot of work to do. We've done the basic work of doing the reports, presenting them to the parents and so on. Now we're going to make the CD. So I thought the first step would be, how about looking at the CD one more time and seeing how we can improve upon this? Because we made a few mistakes, didn't we? We made a lot of mistakes. True? So let's go through this, and I want you to think about how we can improve this. If you want to take some notes, you certainly can. But eventually we'll brainstorm and come up with a list of improvements or things that we liked about the CD for the new one we're going to be doing.
After introducing the activity and critiquing the old CD with the class, the teacher instructs small groups to brainstorm their own ideas for the new project.
Brainstorm a couple of things for me. What improvements should we make on this CD-ROM? We've talked about one, which is doing it on a PC, burning it on a PC burner, and putting a player for the Macintosh. That's one improvement. What else did you notice here we should improve upon? Don't tell me now. Just write them down as a group, discuss them. Okay? Also think about what should we keep. What do you like about that? What do we do well? What kind of features should we have in this one? Because the people making the storyboards will want to know this. Okay? And then be thinking about what kind of groups we need to have. For example, we need somebody to scan. What else do we need? What other group do we need? Somebody to do what, Maxwell?
Organize.
Organize it. Be an editor. Erica?
Make the cover.
Make the cover.
Burn disc.
Burn the actual CDs, the discs. Right. What else?
Plan it out.
Plan it out, exactly. So we need people to do that. What group would you like to take part in? Think about that. I'm going to give you about 2 or 3 minutes to brainstorm with your group, mainly the two first ones I told you, the improvements and things to keep. Okay, you guys can begin. 2 minutes. Basically, we're making a CD-ROM, which is a culminating activity of a social studies project we've done called Walk Through History. And the students had researched a person in history like Cleopatra, Babe Ruth, Theodore Roosevelt. And they'd done a written report and then gone through and taken that written report and made an oral presentation. We invited all the parents and students and teachers in the building to come up, and they portrayed that person in the gym one afternoon. And so that was like the second part of the activity. So the third part will be taking the information that they have in their written reports, what they've learned, information they found on the internet and so on, and put it all together on a CD-ROM.
The teacher monitors the progress of each small group as they brainstorm a list of jobs needed for their project.
Wow, you guys have quite a few.
Like, say you wanted to scan and you don't know how to scan, what is that?
We're going to talk about that too. That's what we'll do as well.
Okay.
So they'll teach you. That's part of it too. So think about some of the jobs you'd like to do. Say, well, I know how to do this. I'd like to know how to scan. That's perfect. Write that down. That's kind of an improvement too. Okay, an improvement, something we want to do better as we make this CD. That's perfect.
After the students generate several ideas, the teacher pulls everyone together for a class discussion to share what each group discovered.
Good discussions. Focus up here a little bit. I heard some really good comments, people really thinking. In fact, it was kind of interesting. People sat there for a couple of minutes just kind of thinking, which is appropriate, isn't it? They're thinking back to what we did and what we want to do. And I saw a lot of that. People just kind of thinking, taking a few notes and so on. Then they started talking and discussing and agreeing on things and maybe disagreeing too, which is really good to see. Let's go through again. Keep in mind what we're trying to do, the improvements, things to keep, and some groups we need. Let's start right over here. What's one improvement?
Students suggest what improvements can be made for their new CD-ROM.
Andrew?
A little more organized, because there are like big buttons and little buttons, and they're all just everywhere. It might look a little better if we like put them in rows and columns or something.
After the class completes their list of ideas, the teacher helps organize small groups who will be responsible for a portion of the CD-ROM.
And card makers. I've got Josh on that one, since he's done a lot of work at home and school with that, and so have some other people. And think about as you're joining this, I know that Nick does a lot at home with HyperStudio. Jake uses HyperStudio, BJ, and so on. Think about either joining them or trying something different this time. Okay, think about that. Now in just a minute, I want you to come up and sign your name next to the group you want to be on. Be aware that when it fills up with 4, I want you to move someplace else. Okay? So can you do it without breaking a leg, do you think? Okay, slowly. White or yellow chalk?
Only 2 can do this. Only 2 can write your name on the
Small groups are given time during class to collaborate and plan the layout of the CD.
Okay, so reports,
We'll have reports.
the video.
Yeah, that's with the reports. When we click on
Oh,
the
yeah.
name, then it'll go to the video. Then it'll go to the report.
So should we do like report/video or something? Okay, you know what I mean?
I'm like done with the first.
Or we could, we could go to our report. Then we could have a button that says video.
Yeah.
Then we could do that.
Yeah, that might, it would be cool though if we could just like click on it and then the video would come up.
And
But-
then
yeah.
that could have a link.
Yeah, then
to-
have a button where you could click on it again.
The teacher gives suggestions and encourages the group's creativity.
Okay.
Keep in mind that Jillian wasn't here for this.
Yeah.
So she's kind of learned, remember the CD she missed out on? So it's kind of new to her.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So she has to
Right,
keep in
forgot
mind
about
that.
that.
Think about when we make our Hyper Studio cards in the lab, Jillian, and you link the three together. Just think about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And you need to ask a lot of questions. Say, I don't get this. You tell me again.
Okay.
All right?
We're doing this thing like we're walking like through history, like the latest like 480.
Like a real walk?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like someone's
Like
like,
stepping
walking,
stones.
Oh, good.
and then like maybe like each stone would be like a timeline,
Okay.
like here to here, and then the next one would be
So you click on a certain stone, it takes you to a certain period in time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then
Sounds
it'd
good.
have the names of
And
the
then-
people that
yeah,
were
that'd
And
be
then
right.
most recent like Janae's would be like still living.
Throughout the project, students must work together with a variety of technology in order to create the final product. The students scan pictures, search for clip art, crop photographs, type reports, and finally burn the CD.
And you're the proofreaders right now. If they're done, you can say to Roxanne, okay, they're ready to type. Okay? So kind of just swap over. If you say anything, you can talk to Jed and say, is this word right, or whatever. Okay?
This is like the thing you have to put it in when you put it in the burner. And these are CDs that hold 650 megabytes, and it's $2.
Put it in the airway. There you go. Put it in. And then you just click create CD, and then you gotta give it a minute to boot up. Yeah, realize that it's there. It's like up to there. And then you just hit start recording, then it'll burn your CD.